Welcome to Factorio Masterclass. My name is Nilaus and we are here with our Space Age series and we are heading to FULGORA. Why are we heading to FULGORA? We are heading to FULGORA because we are done with the very first landing on here. We are on Vulcanus. We got the green belts, we got the cliff explosives, we got the foundries and the big mining poles or mining drills, and that's really what we want right now, plus of course the science. So that means we need to go to FULGORA. What we want to get on FULGORA is primarily we want to get the electromagnetic plant and the mech armor. So there's a lot of things to do on FULGORA. So what's important is actually in the first case is we are going to be splitting it into 2 episodes here on FULGORA, so you gotta subscribe and follow along if you want to see all of it, because there's so much to do. Like, first of all, we have to figure out what to bring, where to build, how to make it safe, how the accumulators and the storm thing works. Then we're going to be looking at building a landing pad, a hub, and a Holmium process for the electromagnetic plant. We have to build a big recycling plant, we have to build storage, we have to build science, all of that just to get it going and get the things we need. So obviously that's way too many things to do in one episode. But let's start from the beginning. The very first beginning here is you are safe on FULGORA near to lightning attractors. So don't pick that up immediately because this is kind of an important thing. Super important thing about FULGORA is that you're not going to be building here. If we go here, this is a too small island. You want to find a big island. It's worth finding a big island. But before you start roaming, it's really important. I cannot stress how important it is. You really want, first of all, I really want this one to not go anywhere. So I'm going to pause the rest. I want this, you have to drop this one down and you have to drop some robots down. Because the stuff that you drop down will always be at this location. So if you run out in the world and end up here and build your base and then you drop something down, it's going to come down here. So you want to drop it down near where you land, and then you're going to be picking up and then go out and exploring so that you can actually put the landing pad. And there we go. So now we are ready to go out and explore. So spend the time on finding something good. Another thing, I mean, we take a little bit of damage here, but it shouldn't be too bad. What you really want to find first is one of these things. That is a Fulgoran Vault Ruins. So if we take that, and lo and behold, we get the first research, we get the recycling. And we also have the lightning rod. The lightning rod is what we want to build first, and then we want to get the recycling. So you want to get this one, and the funny thing about this is we can actually get up here. So if we didn't have have robots or cliff explosives, we can't actually get up to this one. So another reason why it's good to go to Vulcanus first. So I managed to find a really convenient island. If we look at our city blocks, that means we can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's giving us a size of 6. And then we can also build some power blocks up here. So that's going to be nice. These ones, if I stamp them down, then they will actually start putting heavy blocks in here. And I really don't want to do that, which is a little bit annoying. I actually want to switch them over to landfill, because what I do need is I need to make some of these lightning rods, because they are the ones to protect us, and they need some stone bricks. We don't really find a lot of stone bricks. Somehow you can find a little bit, but what we can do is we can find this, and we just need some fuel, and we can get fuel pretty simply by just processing our scrap. And once we process scrap, we'll get some there we go, and there we go, and there we go, and we should get one more soon enough. And we got the Holmium processing as well here. Good. So we now have some kind of process here. We can get some of that. We can make some more of these protection rods. And I have meticulously, I would say, designed this on around our city block. So yet another reason why the city block is an amazing pattern, because I built a city block that works really well for this location. And let's have a look at it. And we'll just go with the normal one. And well, let me see. This is probably a great place to build our front location. So we need to build all of this, and then it will of course not work very well. But if we put these in here in the middle, in a very specific location actually, and it has to be sort of repeatable. So it has to be sort of in the middle Oh, I have to deselect this. And then actually see if I can build some more of these. There. There we go. We got some more. And then I just go back to just processing the scrap. Okay, so if I build it here, that means if I'm looking at it, then that would be this location. Then I'd have to sort of find a similar location on this side, which is not there. See, that's not really in the middle. I think that's actually honestly more in the middle. And that means this doesn't seem to be correct either. Let's see. So what I actually want to do is I want to... First of all, I think I want to make... I'm just a little bit unsure whether I should put down the landing pad first or not. But we do need the landing pad, but we also need these ones to protect. So let's place these locations. And I think this is a little bit off. So I think this is the better location. And then it goes up. And then you have to be in a better location as well. The beautiful thing about this pattern is that I don't build any of the small ones inside the location, but I do build 8 out here on the edge. And this is a repeatable pattern. So this is actually sustainable and it'll get us safely. So we need to have the one thing we built, that one, which just has to be built somewhere. I think it's like this. It's kind of the same place as it is on Vulcanus, so we can actually just go to Vulcanus and just basically say, well, it's probably like this. So let's just build it the same place. Good. It is the same place. Great. Right. So that means now we can request stuff in and then we can start actually working with stuff here. So let's start requesting in and start building everything. I also would recommend building a deconstruction planner that has all the Fulgoran ruins here highlighted and all the stuff you can get on Fulgora so that you can actually use it to just remove everything except the lightning attractors. Now we can clean up the area much nicer and we can start requesting the stuff we need from the freighter and we can just request all the stuff. Let's get the most important stuff in here. This one, this one, this one. Those here, 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 here. Okay, so that's coming down. Cliff explosives. Oh, let's get accumulators as well. We need a lot of stuff down here. So this doesn't really have enough power for us to get going, but we do need to expand. And what I want to do is, I think I want to just, yeah, maybe I've actually done it wrong, but here we have the blueprint, this blueprint, and I'm also going to put it in here. So that's the Fulgora city block, the starter city block, and we're going to be expanding it also up here. I'm actually leaning towards moving this one up here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we built some design here, and we now have prepared this block up here for our power plant. So the power plant on Fulgora is accumulators, and it is these lightning rods. These lightning rods serve two purposes. They serve the purpose of protecting us from the lightning storm, but they also generate power. So this power that they generate during the lightning storm has to be put into accumulators, and then I need to pick those up from somewhere. Yeah, here's some accumulators. The accumulators. So when you think about, okay, so how does this work? The amount coverage, the amount covered is, or the power generated is proportional to the space covered by these lightning rods. However, each lightning rod has a certain speed that it can consume with. So if you have a big coverage, but you're getting more power in than you can put into accumulators, then that's not going to work. So you have to have a balance of having a large number of accumulators, because the accumulators also have an input speed, and if you exceed that input speed, then everything else just gets wasted. On the other hand, you also have, let's do this, there and there, and this should be flippable. So it's a really cool design because there are a number of different priorities that we have to deal with in order for this one to actually work optimally. First of all, you need coverage. Then you need to have enough space so that you get hit by enough lightning that you can actually charge. Then you need to have enough lightning rods so that the charges you get can actually be captured, then you have to have enough accumulators so that both that you can last during the non-storm period, but also so that you can consume it faster. Because what happens is during the lightning storm here, then we can see that right now we are generating an insane amount of power, and right now we're not doing it. So when it's full green bar, it actually means no power is generated, and we're just drawing from the accumulators. But when the bar disappears, that's because we're producing this much power, but we're only able to consume a little sliver of it. So it's a kind of a roundabout way, but think of it this way. If you are missing power, if you're running out of power, check if it is if it's because accumulators run out. If they fill up all the way, but then during the storm, but then they fall out, then you need more accumulators. If you are not able to fill up the accumulators during the storm, then that means you need more lightning rods, and that means a bigger area to cover. So cover a bigger area so that you can consume more of these, or you can get more of these in. And this is actually working just great for a power plant, and this is of course also part of the blueprint package. So just a note, a blueprint package is something I do for patron supporters, the people who monetarily support the channel. I will compile a number of blueprints, the stuff we design here, and then that will be available. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be doing here. What our objective is to get the Holmium and get the electromagnetic plant. Once we get the electromagnetic plant, we're fine. So the thing we need is to make a small plant for Holmium, because this thing here requires steel. We got it from recycling. Processing, we got it from recycling. Refined concrete, we can easily make that from recycling. And then it's just the Holmium plates that we miss. And then once we have that, we can make the electromagnetic plant. Once we have the electromagnetic plant, we can build a hub. Okay, we're going to start by making the Holmium. The beautiful thing about going to FULGORA first is that we actually have the Holmium processed right here. We can make it here. And by using this, we are getting 50% extra productivity, because that's just how foundries work. The beautiful thing about this is that, or an interesting thing about Holmium or FULGORA, is that everything is Holmium constrained. So you want to get more Holmium. Anything you can to get more Holmium is what you want. So any process that involves Holmium, we want to use productivity modules on them, even if it becomes slower. But at this point, we're so much in a drought that it's the most important thing. All right, so what I need to do is I also want to prepare it a little bit for the future. That means we're going to be designing it in such a way that it can actually be affected by a beacon, even though this beacon might not be working right now. Then we want these here. They can be built 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are all inside the beacon area, and these are all going to make Holmium solution. There, and they should at least be consistent about where they should be placed. And I'm going to be speeding or slowing these all the way down, and I'm going to be using this module here, the efficiency module. It actually works quite good here to lower the amount of power they need. I want to do this in the beginning. Later on, when you have enough power, you can switch it over to a speed module, but we're not at that point yet. We also don't have enough of this. So each of these will require stone, which we're getting a lot of, and Holmium, which we also get a lot of, and water. So we can just make this thing here, and this thing here. And then I need to find somewhere that it can go into this location. And then ironically, I also want it to be connected. This is so weird that I do it this way, but the reason why I do that is because I need a belt inbound. Oh, I need a green belt. Not because I really need a green belt, but because it's kind of the only belt I have. I'm bringing here. I'm not going to be making the other belts because I just don't think that's valuable. This will be filtered to stone, and this will be filtered to Holmium. That's here, Holmium ore. And then we just might as well just put it in here. Why not? And this one will just be requesting. Let's do 50 of each just because. There we go. And then let's get some power inbound here for this one. Let's get it. Actually, this kind of feels. These ones have to be moved up a little bit. There. Otherwise I can't get it inbound here, because this has to be like that to get this inbound. Oops. That has to be here and here. Yeah, so you can see now there's not a lot of room, and let's get some power poles here, here, and let's make them out there on the side. That one and that one. Beautiful. A little bit of there. That's perfect. And yeah, so this is kind of working, except it doesn't have the water yet. But that's we'll get that water and water here, and let's get it connected. That's too long. From here to here. There. So that is kind of the Holmium done. It goes in here. How do I... Yeah, okay, so it's the liquid coming in here, and the liquid is spread out all of that area. So all I need is now some water production. This water production, yeah, it's not going to be very advanced, because the only way to get water on this planet is from ice. So we just request some ice, and then we should be fine. And I think I'll also build a little bit of water tank down here, just so we have it. And you know that's also going to be the power, and these are going to be water from ice. Good. And with everything that isn't needing to speed up, then I'm going to do that. So this is going to get us a little bit of power, a little bit of water, and all we need now is to make some Holmium. And let's see. Yeah, you know, we kind of need a lot of this, so don't want to have it run out. There we go. That is our first Holmium. Perfect. Right, so now what we can do, should do, is make a very simple build here that does one thing and one thing only. Electromagnetic plant. Perfect, because we got the 50 Holmium. Then we're going to make a single one of these electromagnetic plants. And that means we also need to make a little bit of refined concrete. Don't start building out of concrete just yet, because you actually need the concrete for for this part here. So I'm going to build that here, and then you're going to be requesting it in here. So of course we're not getting that. That's going to go in, and then we can just happily make... it's actually, I just want a single one, because we don't want all of these done. We only want... This one goes up to 150, and there we go. Then I don't want any more of this, because I only want to make a single one. That's very important, that I only want to make a single one, because when I make that single one, then I want to switch it over to make it in an electromagnetic plant moving forward. And here we are. Now we are building that one part, and you got it. There we go. We got the electromagnetic plant, and that's not how we unlock the next. But we now can take this out. We can replace it with the first electromagnetic plant, and then we can keep it going again, because that's the most important thing, so that we can keep this going here. The hub we're going to build here is going to be pretty much the same as we did on Vulcanus. So if you look on Vulcanus, it is basically just rows upon rows of assemblers making stuff. The difference is that we will not have foundries, and we will not have science integrated, but what we will do is we will make electromagnetic plants now that we have those, because anything that you can make in an electromagnetic plant, we absolutely want to do. So let's get the one we already have, but that's not much, and just get a sense of what it actually is we can build here. So for example, we're not going to go into superconductors, electrolytes, and supercapacitors today, but stuff like solar panels, if we wanted those, we don't. Accumulators, more of these. The lightning rods and the follow-up lightning rod, and then modules and all the modules and the beacons as well. Aside from that, power poles are also something we can make more easily here, so why not? So let me just make a pattern like this for all the for the entirety here. So this is basically what I've come up with. It's I don't know, it's simple, but it kind of works. And we have all the things that we want. We also have made preparations for one more here, and this one will be when we get to the better lightning rods. Then we need the initial lightning rods into the lightning collectors when that comes in. So it's kind of made room for it. Similarly as well to the setup on what's it called? Vulcanus, yes. There is that we want to have a liquid bus. Liquid buses are amazing in this game. So much better than well, normal buses. And then there, and these two have to be in the middle, and then there, and right. And let me just check that this is reversible. Yes, it is. Good, good, good. And this one is over here as well. So basically this means that we will now have 4 things coming in. The things we want in is heavy oil. Heavy oil is something you just mine from the ocean. All of this is heavy oil, so that's pretty sweet. Then the next one is going to be water, which is something we are making a little bit of. And then we need holmium, because we need a holmium solution, and we need the holmium electrolyte thing that we don't have yet, but we will get it. And there we go, we've now hooked it up in a reasonable way. I think the only problem we have is, of course, is, not surprisingly, the fact that we do not have enough holmium. Why do we not have enough holmium? That's because we're not really mining anything. So I would not recommend building it like this entirely, but I'm building this in... I want to split these 2 episodes for FULGORA in a meaningful way. So one meaningful way is that now we have a landing pad. We have built the holmium. We have built enough to get this one going, which doesn't need to be here anymore, because now that's actually replaced by the original design, or the correct design over here. This one is hooked up to these lines, and it's not, I've not set any of these requesters up, but I will of course set requesters up and provide it in the blueprint so that you can have this going. But at this point we need resources coming in, and we need to unlock the electromagnetic science, and that's going to be the focus for the next episode, because we're going to be building an amazing location down here, which will be focused on the recycling, storage, self-balancing, filtering, all that cool stuff. And we're going to be using the rest of the space we have here in order to make the science and the electrolytes and the supercapacitors and all that stuff. So I've made room for it. We are of course also going to be expanding our power, but once we have that, then we actually got all the things we want from FULGORA for the first phase, and then we can take a look at what we want to go from there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This start of how to land on FULGORA, how to find the right spot, how to get safely started, and now we're in the expansion phase where we get to unlock the cool things. So if you have liked it, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to keep up with more Factorio and other videos, then be sure to subscribe. And of course, if you want to support the channel and also get easy access to the designs we make here, then consider supporting on Patreon. Thank you very much to everyone who's supporting and liking, sharing, and all that stuff. And of course, on Sundays, we are also streaming this on Twitch TV/Nilaus, where we do designs and come up with cool ways of solving problems. Until next time, take care and stay effective.